starters. He still with 19 assists on 23 baskets. And I know you love to have those guys, but he's still offensively, the way you guys executed, really didn't miss a beat. Is that what pleases you most about this win?
There's a lot of things that pleased me. The fact that we were able to win the game, obviously, is most important. I thought we did play very good offense. I thought we played very good, unselfish offense. And I think that's hopefully the mindset of these guys as we talk our way through end-of-game situations. There's going to have guys that are open, and when you find them, then it's their turn to shoot it. So when you see that, 23 field goals and 19 assists, you have to be very pleased with the mindset of your players.
Getting a follow-up this Richmond game with the league solid win tonight, how important is that as you guys head down the road here come March into the conference and the tournament?
Say that again.
The fact that you had some follow-up a Richmond win with another good win today, how important is that to keep having that kind of effort back-to-back?
Every game is so critical at this time of the year, so we're going to enjoy this for a couple hours, and I know Duke plays tonight on TV. I think it's 7:45, and we'll be watching that and trying to plan how we can approach that game. But every game will be critical. And as we chop this thing up into weeks, we got Duke on Wednesday and G-Dub on Saturday, so it's a great week for us. And we have two great challenging games for us. But every game's critical.
We asked the players when they were in, mentioned 19 assists and 23 made baskets, about the unselfishness and the ball movement and sometimes giving up a good shot to get the ball to somebody who had a better shot. And Ramon said, well, there was one time I shot the ball early. You let them know when maybe they get out of it?
Yeah, I think they're, well, and it's not just in the games. Every day in practice they get the same treatment. It's just, it's something that I think we'd like to key on each and every day, that it's really not about you. It's about your team and how much good you can do for one another. And yeah, I mean, you let them know. But Ramon's had a terrific season, and hopefully it can continue as well.
Fran, Fernandez goes 39 minutes, 0 turnovers. That's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, his last number of games have been just terrific. And you know, when he did, I forget what game it was, he went 9 assists in those games. He's just had a great run right now, and he's feeling more comfortable, it looks like. Again, I don't know that he'll be totally 100% for the rest of the year, but he's much more confident. And I think he knows who he is a little bit more right now.
Fran, do you believe?
Yeah, I think it's a remarkable achievement by a guy who is as selfless as I've ever coached, and you know, he's had a tremendous career. And as I said a number of weeks ago, I would hate to see where our program would be without him way out. And then I was on the TV, and these guys just mentioned the line that he had. You know, he's got 7 for 10, and he's got 12 rebounds, and he's got 2 assists, no turnovers, a block, and a steal. But what you don't see is every time somebody's driving into the basket, all of a sudden you get this big body in front of you getting off of his man to protect his teammates. And that's what makes him so valuable to us as a basketball player.
Fran, do you believe in the concept of setup games? Because if you do, this would have been when you got Duke, you got St. Joe's, a rival that's struggling, and if so, are you really pleased with the way your kids handled that situation?
Well, do I believe in it, John? Yeah, for other people. I don't believe in it for us as a team. There's no. I hear other people say that. I can't imagine what. There's no coach out there that ever thinks that way. Coach thinks about the next task at hand, and that was St. Joe's today. And we talked a little bit about how last year we had played here and we played very well. And we had a good win for us. And then at the Palestra last year, in the second game that we played St. Joe's, we were lucky to escape. They really played better than we did, and we just kind of found a way to win the game. Ramon makes a play at the buzzer. So we talked about that. So I don't believe in hiding it, but I do believe in talking about it, to say, you know what, every game's so critical to a college basketball player. These guys, you know, take Lavoie for example, where how many more games does he have left as a college basketball player? He's got 4 regular season games left, and then he's got whatever we can do in the Atlantic 10 tournament. And then there's no assurances after that. We have to continue to play well. That's always the message.
You talked about how unselfish this team is. Khalif comes off the bench today. He started before, but I'm assuming you wanted to bring him off the bench to give us like a team spark. How much does it help if the guys just kind of accept the role and do what they need to do?
Well, I appreciate the question, John. Here's what we did, because at some point we need Aaron Brown to be in the game. So what I just sat down with TJ and with Khalif this week, and I just said, you know, here's what I need you to do. I need you to buy into this. AB is going to be a really good player here soon, but he needs to start this game because the reality is when you start, you have more margin for error. When you come off the bench and you maybe make a mistake, then it's magnified. And so that was, you know, the comfort level that we needed to give to AB, and we'll try to do the same thing on Wednesday. And but he needs to play because we're obviously shorthanded, and he's a tremendous kid. He's worked as hard as anybody in our program. But the message was to Leaf and to TJ that you deserve to play a lot too, but here's the way we want to handle this situation.
Fran, knowing the history of this rivalry and the importance of it to both schools, what does it mean to you to win 9 in a row in this rivalry and really, you know, dominate it over the last few years?
I thought we won today, and that's the only thing that mattered, and it's not something that I ever think about, and because in this game, you know, things can turn around very, very quickly, and we're appreciative of today's game and what we did, and how we toughed it out and got a good win for us, and now on to Duke.
Fran, when this game ended, your entire team went over and shook John Chaney's hand. It doesn't seem like that was a coincidence. Given the fact with Eddie and Rick and Aaron and St. Joe's here today, what did this day mean, Philadelphia-wise, for you?
Well, last night was tremendous to watch Rick Brunson and Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee. What they have accomplished at Temple was pretty remarkable, and they were led by a guy who is an absolute icon in this city, and certainly legendary in college basketball coaching, and really a good friend of mine, and I value that. So I think it's great. I had nothing to do, I will tell you right away that I had nothing to do with it. I think they understand, they get it. They get the history and tradition of Temple basketball, and so here's a guy who sat there, watched the game, and he loves every one of them. He tells them he does, and for them to go over and pay homage, that's what they ought to do, and they did it, and I'm glad to hear you said it. I'm glad you recognized that. I appreciate it.
And what will be your day-to-day approach with Scooty? Do you know?
Yeah, it's I don't know what's going to happen with that, but we're going to try to see if he can still play basketball this year. But he's hurt. He's hurt, but he's a great guy, and he's going to continue to work every day with the trainers and doctors and see if he can get something out of it. But and we miss him, and we missed his voice. I said that to him the other day, and then I said to him before the game too. I said, You're certainly our emotional leader, so he was kind of sitting around at our shoot-around today. I said, well, you can't sit around. You got to be out on the court. You got to be yelling, screaming, and encouraging your teammates, because that's what you do. That's what your MO is. And he's a good man.
So you think this year that you guys just have no idea that it could be any number of games?
It could. I have no idea, and I would be wrong if I said what my opinion is.
Fran, before you got things going at Penn, you had your tough times, and Phil is going through some pretty rough times now. You guys talk about it or say anything, or I mean?
Yeah, we do. We do. And he's a really good friend, and he's a good man. And I feel for their program right now. But I will tell you this, and I said it on TV. I mean, they got a great future in front of them. I think they are right on target to where they want to go. They're just this close to really blossoming. And for us today, I mean, Langston Galloway is a hell of a player. Jones is a tough guard. We can't guard him. We had a tough time today guarding him. Robertson, Aiken, go down the line for them. Carl, still, they're going to be a really good team. So if everybody's patient, I think everything will work out just fine.
Fran, you talked about this maybe being your deepest team. Do you think that's kind of being put to the test now with this latest spat of injuries?
But luckily, we have some guys that you can put in the game and can do a good job. And we're mixing and matching like crazy. I mean, there was a time where Ramon Moore's trying to guard C.J. Aiken, and he did a nice job. He stepped in front, got a steal in the second half, but that's who we're going to have to be, and I think these guys understand it.
Talk about, I guess, the opportunity you have now going down to play at Duke on Wednesday, one of the storied programs and one of the storied arenas in the country.
Well, it's an honor to play that program with that coach and that storied tradition and in that facility. So I've taken a couple of teams down there, and it's a fabulous atmosphere. And it's one of those atmospheres that kids are never going to forget. And so for us to play the game is spectacular, and we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to try to put ourselves in a position to to be successful down there, knowing full well what the great challenge in front of us is. But it's a great honor to play it, and it should be a great deal of fun for our guys.
Do you think it's the closest thing with Plaster in the country, Fran?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Apparently, and somebody has said this a number of times, I think the architects are one in the same,
Oh, really?
I think.
Fran, you guys-
Even you didn't know that, Paul?
No idea.
I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm not leading you astray. If you would do the requisite
Sure will.
research, that would be wonderful.
You're right.
Jack Short. Because you guys have played in a number of big games, I guess maybe you don't know till you get down there. Are the guys able to go down to that environment, kind of shake it off after a couple of minutes when you're in that type of environment?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've been in a lot of different places over the years, and I think that, you know, they're going to be excited by it, but not awed by it, and that's the great thing about college athletics. These kids are very resilient. They understand what their job is, and they'll go down there and give it their best effort. We'll enjoy every second of it.